To evacuate. We'll have one neighbor's reaction.
The starting times for middle and high schools are being pushed back as a result of a new law. And we'll explain why.
Is this better?
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
All LA USC students returned to school today. The Saddleridge Fire forced cancellations last week. Outdoor activities will be limited due to air quality. Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Barineau.
And I'm Caleb Michael. There's new information tonight about the location of the beginning of the fire. There are reports the Saddleridge Fire ignited near the base of a SoCal Edison transmission tower in Sylmar. The fire burned almost 8,000 acres in the San Fernando Valley. One resident and one park ranger have died, not from the flames, but from heart attacks. Officials at SoCal Edison are not taking responsibility. The power company told Annenberg Media that, quote, out of an abundance of caution, we notified the California Utilities Commission on Friday that our system was impacted near the reported time of the fire. A Sylmar homeowner who lives near where the fire started says he had to help defend his own home.
All the fire department, all the resources out front here trying to save the homes in the front, but then the fire, I walked to the back and there was a fire in the backyard because the hillside's in the back as well, and I don't think they were aware of that, and only me and one other neighbor was out there trying to turn off the fire back there.
A total of 17 structures were destroyed by the fire, with another 58 damaged. Joining us at the desk is our weather anchor, Nicola Wenz, with an update on the fire's containment status. Nicola.
Thank you, Caleb. Not at the desk, but right here by the monitor. As of now, the fire is 43% contained, and firefighters say they will take advantage of these lower winds outside, the increased humidity, and decreased temperatures to clear up some of the remaining hotspots. If you look right here, there were mandatory evacuations that were lifted just now, and these are some of the voluntary evacuations, those yellow patches right there, so note that is always an option. The cause of the fire, however, is still under investigation. The section of Angeles National Forest will remain closed all the way through May of 2020.
There was a task force that was created, and what the task force developed was a series of recommendations. The primary one around value was really to better understand what are our core values at USC, and do those need to shift or change.
I feel like, selecting from a list of adjectives, there were like 50 or something like that, but I still feel like it's not going to get to the root of any of those problems.
I don't think it's like a point of conversation for the average student, not going to lie.
It's definitely not engaging enough, and I feel like it's also just like a really superficial attempt at engaging with these issues. Like, these issues are much deeper than a poll.
As you can tell, students aren't thrilled by the poll. They believe there's a better way to discuss important topics and make it a more engaging conversation on campus. The USC community will be able to participate in the poll through November 3rd. The results will be shared in the town hall and discussion sessions early next year.
We have an update on a story we brought you last week. A suspect is now in custody in the case of one of the 3 females that were slapped on her backside around USC. The suspect, a male with long hair riding a bicycle, matched the description for other sexual batteries that happened that same night. He reportedly confessed to those batteries after being arrested and booked by the LAPD. California high school students may soon be able to get an extra half hour of sleep. A new law pushes back school start times by up to 30 minutes. Under the new law, middle school classes will not be able to begin before 8 a.m. High schools can now start before 8:30 a.m. However, rural schools are exempt from the new law. Schools have until July 1st, 2022 to implement the new times. Some educators say they are happy about the move.
Students who are very, very drowsy their first even 2 periods, it will help kids with their sleep cycles to readjust to school when they become a high school student.
Research has shown that later start times can mean more sleep and better performance by high school students. Counselors say the lack of sleep has negative effects on students.
With counseling, you see a lot of kids want to take extra APs. They want to come in even earlier, and they are sleep deprived. So when you talk with kids and you ask them, how much sleep are you getting on a daily basis? A lot of them will tell you like 6 hours.
Now, critics of the bill claim later start times will impact working class families and parents who have to make it to work.
A new law means no more smoking in California state parks and beaches. The law prohibits the use of tobacco cigarettes, marijuana, and electronic vaping devices. The author of the bill says outlanding smoking and vaping in parks and beaches is an effort to provide a cleaner, safer, and healthier environment for people, fish, and wildlife. The law goes into effect on January 1st, 2020. Smoking will be allowed in parking lots and nearby roads. Violators will be fined by up to $25. A new California law allows child victims of sexual abuse more time to report allegations and file a lawsuit. We spoke to an expert on child abuse treatment who says that the way we treat victims is important.
Disclosing sexual aggression is a very difficult thing to do because we live in a world of victim blame. So I think as a campus and as members of that campus, that we don't participate in blaming victims, that we seek solutions.
The bill also provides a window of 3 years for past claims to be filed and also applied to USC victims of former gynecologist George Tyndall between January 1st, 1988 and January 1st, 2017. A chaotic day at the White House. There are new economic sanctions in Syria while they deal with the fallout from a disturbing edited video.
Our very own Kevin McNamara is here with us now. It's been wild in the political world. What's up, Kevin?
Yeah, it's been a little bit more than wild. President Trump shut down trade negotiations with Turkey today following the country's invasion of northern Syria, calling for an immediate ceasefire. Turkish forces have been assaulting Kurdish fighters and targeting journalists in the region since the president surprisingly withdrew U.S. troops in Syria. Tariffs on Turkish steel imports will be doubled, and Vice President Mike Pence has been dispatched to help mediate a peace agreement. Back in the States, a video of violence starring President Trump was revealed at a political event in a Trump hotel in Miami. On it, the president takes aim at the media and his political enemies. The video places the president's head over the star of the 2014 movie Kingsman during a violent scene. The character is seen shooting and stabbing dozens of people inside a church, including Senator Bernie Sanders. He also throws Representative Maxine Waters out of a window at one point. You can still see it on social media. The Trump administration distanced itself from the video today, saying that the president had not seen it, but that he, quote, strongly condemns this video based on what he has heard. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kevin. LAPD says it will drastically cut back on pulling over random vehicles. This comes after an LA Times investigation found Black and Latino drivers are disproportionately targeted by officers. Police Chief Michael Moore told the LA Times that vehicle stops have not been proven effective. For every 100 stops, about 1 arrest occurs. Instead, LAPD says it will focus on suspects wanted for violent crimes. Now, the changes will take effect in late November, and many community members applaud this step by the department. LAPD refused to comment further on the subject. Indigenous Peoples Day is today. We'll be live near Echo Park where people are celebrating.
More than 50 people have died in Japan as a result of the typhoon rains and floods. We spoke to a student from Japan and got her reaction.
Kevin Smith and his screen partner Jason Mewes put their hands and feet in cement at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood today.
Encuentra el bosque más cercano en descubreelbosque.org. El bosque, más cerca de lo que crees.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, Those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Today is the Indigenous Peoples Day established in 2017 by the LA County Board of Supervisors, replacing the former Columbus Day. Our Tanvi Varna is live at Echo Park. Tanvi.
We're at the Filipinos Workers Center, and we're here trying to break down what Indigenous Day looks like in this Southern California community. I talked to people who say, well, today is going to be full of dance, song, and open mic. It's also going to be a day of reflection and a day where we reflect on the pain of Indigenous people. There are many things that have led to the oppression of the Indigenous community, colonialism being one of the main ones, that have led to things like alcoholism, police brutality, poverty, you name it. And so while today we are celebrating the identity and the importance of the culture, today we've been fortunate enough to get an interview with one of the founders of the International Indigenous Youth Council, Tomas Lopez. Thank you, Tomas, for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
So can you convey why this holiday is so important?
Yeah, so Niam Petu Washte. No, you're good. So, Niam Petu Washte, Yaat Ebene, Tlaso Kamali Ometeo. My name is Tomas Lopez Jr. My people are Otomi, Diné, Apache, and Lakota. I come here from Denver, Colorado, and I was invited here by some of the youth council members here in Southern California. And yeah, so the International Indigenous Youth Council is a group that was started while we were on the front lines in Standing Rock, North Dakota, while we were fighting against the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. We since have moved into our own communities and begun doing work that is so desperately needed amongst every one of our communities. All of our problems look very different, but at the same time when we come together, we also see the similarities that all of our communities share. Oftentimes, like you said, alcoholism, drug abuse, sexual abuse, and of course what we see it through the most is in our teen suicide rates. They are the highest of any marginalized community in the nation, and personally I believe they're the highest in the world. So it's really important that we highlight these things because I don't think people quite understand that the world that we live in, the Western world that we've constructed around us, is directly responsible for a lot of these problems. We as Indigenous people walk around everywhere with the constant reminder that we were the people that the genocide was inflicted on. Every time we look at these buildings, Black and brown people are reminded of our ancestors that went through severe trauma in order for us to be here.
Thank you so much, Tomas. Later today, there will be workshops where Tomas and other leaders of the community will be talking about how to deal with the trauma that they've had to deal with invariably. For Annenberg Media, I'm Tanvi Verma.
A public relations official in the Angels front office admitted he provided late pitcher Tyler Skaggs with opioids prior to his overdose on July 1st. Annenberg Media spoke with Fox Sports 1 commentator and MLB Hall of Fame voter Rob Parker to hear his insights.
It definitely puts a different slant on this story, and it's a blockbuster. The idea that employees of the Angels would be selling drugs to players is a bombshell for the organization and for Major League Baseball. Those people will have to be fired. There's no way that you can be selling drugs to someone in the organization or anyone for that matter. So they'll have to be fired. And then there'll be strict guidelines for all the other clubs as you move forward.
Angels organization has denied any knowledge of the incident. Angels president John Carpino stated, quote, "We have never heard that any employee was providing illegal narcotics to any player or that any player was seeking illegal narcotics," end quote.
Angels Director of Communications Eric Kay told federal investigators that he provided and used the drugs with Skaggs for years. Kay said that 2 team officials were also aware of the pitcher's drug use before his death in July. Kay admitted he was with Skaggs just 2 hours prior to his overdose. Kay is currently on paid leave while the MLB investigates the pitcher's death.
He's not famous, he's not a multimillionaire, but he was the first parent to come forward and admit his guilt in the college admissions scandal. Jan Sartorio, a businessman in Silicon Valley, paid $15,000 to rig his daughter's ACT exam. Sartorio is the first parent to escape jail time.
Each case will be different. Each defendant will get different time simply because of those 3 things. How much corruption, were they willing to accept responsibility, and were they forthcoming with the court, and what was in the recordings.
Felicity Huffman is going to prison, although for only 2 weeks. The rest of the parents were sentenced to 5 months of jail time, and fines range between $30,000 and $100,000. Now, Elizabeth, the weather's been getting a little cooler. I felt it. I've been wearing sweaters in the morning. Have you felt that?
I've also been wearing sweaters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nicola, am I right?
Caleb, you're right. It is sweater weather now. I mean, it is October, so that is naturally the time where temperatures start to cool down. Currently it is 7 degrees. As you see, that is kind of the trend that's going to be happening throughout the week. Let's take a look at the Inland Empire for tomorrow. Tomorrow over at Big Bear, it's going to be 68 degrees, and down at Palm Springs tends to be a little warmer at 95. Over at San Bernardino, 91. And down at Riverside, also 90. Let's take a trip over to the coast to Malibu, where temperatures are going to be 75 degrees, up through the canyon and Thousand Oaks, 84 degrees, and over at Northridge, 90 degrees. If we could take it back to home base here at USC, as I said, it does feel a little cold outside, but tomorrow temperatures are going to be around 83 degrees, over at LAX 76 degrees, and over at Pomona in the 80s. Taking a look at the 5-day forecast, temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 70s. So tomorrow it's going to be 83 degrees, Wednesday 86 degrees, Thursday hitting the 70s with 79 degrees, and Friday and Saturday hitting lower 70s. Now, more than 50 people died after a major typhoon hit Japan over the weekend. Typhoon Hagibis caused catastrophic flooding as 39-inch rain dropped in and out around Tokyo. Officials say they believe the number of deaths could rise as the weather continues to move into residential areas. These purple skies show the calm moments right before the storm. They are caused by something meteorologists like to call scattering. It happens when small molecules influence the direction of light right before the storm hits. Larger molecules in the storm then wash away, giving the sky a purple-like color. I spoke to a USC student from Japan about the current situation overseas.
I guess not affected in a way that it caused like a life change to them, but a lot of people couldn't go to school, couldn't go to work. A lot of trains were stopped. I think it was kind of on the news how all the stations were completely vacant. And it's kind of surreal to see that because that never happens in Tokyo.
Kotoy says Japan expects between 5 or 6 typhoons each year, but this one right here is recorded to be the most powerful storm to hit the land since 1958. Now, currently, tens of thousands of homes are still without power, and residents are just now also being warned about possible landslides.
So typhoons or hurricanes just in a different part of the world?
That's right. They're just called different just because it's different areas.
Crazy times.
Crazy. Well, Hollywood stars and fans came together today to celebrate the 1994 cult classic movie Clerks at the TCL Chinese Theater. A packed crowd filled Hollywood Boulevard as Clerks star Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes literally cemented their legacy in the entertainment industry. Smith spoke to the audience at the ceremony about his love of movies and Hollywood.
Come join us. Hollywood is a magical place. It sounds ridiculous to say, but it really is in many ways a great equalizer, bringing all sorts of diversity together in the pursuit of the dream, of telling the story.
Smith thanks fans for their support and encouraged audiences to follow their dreams of entering the entertainment industry.
Now, I know we're going into sports next. There were a lot of things that were happening this week. I'm excited to hear, Lauren.
It was an exciting weekend. The Trojans put up quite the fight against the Fighting Irish, but fell short in South Bend. We have more on players who stood out for USC. Also, the women's soccer team locked in another win this past weekend. We have more on that.
And the Lakers are back in LA hosting the Warriors. We're here at the Staples Center in Tokyo.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
The Trojans put up a fight against number 9 Notre Dame this Saturday, closing the game out just 3 points behind the Irish after trailing 17-3 at halftime. The first half was rough for USC as they failed to put more than a field goal on the board. However, they rallied in the second half, scoring 3 touchdowns and a field goal, but it was not enough. The Trojans' last score was by Marquis Stepp, who muscled his way into the end zone. Check out this play call from NBC.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Notre Dame getting nosy. They're going to hand it off inside, and Stepp powering his way to the goal line and in for the touchdown.
Huge play by Stepp. Although they lost, receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown kept a positive outlook on the team's second half performance.
Would like to get wins out of these games. We're not happy with what happened today or the game before, but like I said, we're going to go into the next week. We're going to correct our mistakes. I think we play like we did the second half, we'll be fine.
Looking forward, USC has a good number of Pac-12 teams on the horizon, and they are still in contention for a Pac-12 championship. Now on to the NBA, and LA's very own. The Lakers are back in town playing their first preseason game at home. We have our own Tyler Myerly live at the Staples Center ahead of the game tonight. Tyler?
Thank you, Lauren. Well, it is still preseason. The Lakers are back at home to host the Warriors, and while it would have been Anthony Davis's debut here in LA, he will not be playing tonight. Davis will hit his left Saturday against the Nets. Lead sources told ESPN this morning that Davis's MRI did come up negative for the Lakers heading into regular season. The Lakers are hosting the Warriors for their second of 4 games this preseason, and while the Lakers will be hosting the Warriors, and fans will be piling in, expected to see the dynamic duo. They will not be getting that. The Lakers are moving on, taking caution. They will be sitting out both LeBron James and AD. We had a chance to hang out. There's a little bit, 2 hours until tip-off. Fans are getting excited, and they have high expectations for the championships.
Hopefully they can bring home another championship, but this time with LeBron. You know, it's always been talks about Kobe and Shaq, but I want to see LeBron do it not only here, but, you know, he did it in Cleveland, he did it in Miami, so I want to see him do big things. You know, I'm happy for him.
We're going to win the championship this year. There's no shot. We're going to win it this year. I guarantee it. So I'm putting it out there right now. LeBron is ready. Anthony Davis, everybody's here, so we're going to get back right.
While it is odd that the Lakers are only facing 2 teams in 6 preseason games, this could be a potential matchup in the Western Conference Finals. So we will all stay tuned. And back to you, Lauren, and the rest of you at the studio.
Thanks, Tyler. It was a successful weekend for USC women's soccer as they defeated Colorado. Here's some highlights from yesterday's game. The dynamic duo Penelope Hawking and Tara McKeown were back in action. Both scored in this game. Here you can see Hawking's beautiful shot. Here's what Coach McAlpine had to say.
You know, it's not always pretty throughout the game, and we've been able to grind through, especially with a really good Pac-12 this year. Every game's going to have moments like that, and we continue to find ways to end up on the right side. So that's the takeaway.
Tara McKeown leads the Trojans in both goals and assists this year. This marks the 4th victory in a row for USC. Moving forward, the women of Troy will travel to Cal for their match this coming Friday. Former USC quarterback Sam Darnold returned to the Jets this weekend after being out with mono. He had a great performance, leading them to a win against the Cowboys. And Stephen A. Smith thought it was pretty great. That's Stephen A. Smith, always a character. That's all we have for sports today. A Fairfield High School player picked up a throw only to take off the running for the wrong end zone. You can see the confusion among the teams, but he failed to notice, forcing one of his own teammates to tackle him at the 1-yard line. I don't know what's more impressive, that this kid literally ran for 70 yards into the opposite direction, or that his teammate chased him down 70 yards just so he wouldn't score safety. We love a great weekend highlight here at Annenberg Media, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely some great teamwork happening out there. The Guinness Book of World Records announced the world's largest avocado over the weekend, beating out the previous champion by 1 pound.
And Disney's Plus went all the way to Twitter today, treading every single title that will be coming to the platforms as they try to compete in the streaming wars.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Holy guacamole, weighing in at a whopping 5.6 pounds, a Hawaiian avocado has broken the Guinness World Records title for heaviest avocado.
A flurry of tweets from Disney this morning unveiled basically every movie and TV show coming to its new streaming service, Disney+. Content includes a list of throwback movies such as Snow White, as well as exclusive new shows like High School Musical: The Series. So grab your blanket and popcorn because Disney+ goes live on November 12th.
I am so excited for that. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Caleb Michael.
And I'm Elizabeth Barineau. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.